You happy? You happy today? You look happy.
Dave knows how.
I got all this windshield washer fluid out here. And I went to AutoZone, asked them about this negative 20 degree windshield washer fluid to put in the tractor tires. My tractor tires didn't have any ballast in it, and I've just been putting off doing it for ever and a day, years and years, and so I decided that I'm going to go ahead and do that. I went by AutoZone and talked to the manager, and this windshield washer fluid is kind of expensive, but I told him what I was doing and that I was making a YouTube video about it, and so he gave me a really good discount on all of this windshield washer fluid. And he said that anybody who goes in there and buys 12 gallons at a time will get a discount. So if you go to AutoZone and you buy 12 gallons of this windshield washer fluid at a time, you get it at a huge reduction in price. I can't remember exactly what I ended up paying for this stuff, but I want to say it was like 98 cents a gallon, and that is super cheap. I mean, I everywhere I looked, it was like $2 a gallon. So as long as I bought in quantities of 12, so 12, 24, and so on. If it's not in bulk of 12, then you don't get the discount. So I ended up buying a few extra, but I figured, I'll use it in the car. I've seen a lot of videos about doing this, and I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. Let's take a look. So to make it easier, I went on and put the backhoe on here and jacked up the rear end. I've got this sprayer that I use to spray vegetation with, and normally I just strap it to the 3-point on the back of the tractor, and it's got a long wand with it, and I can spray vegetation and stuff like that. And so I already had that, and I thought, you know what, this might be a good way to put windshield washer fluid in the tires, because this thing will pump up, I want to say it was 70 pounds, yeah, 70 max pressure, 70 psi. That's a pretty good amount of pressure. So I built a manifold, because I always have to over engineer everything. But what we've done now is I've done this sprayer will only hold like I think it's a 14-gallon sprayer. It's not a big sprayer, but I managed to get 16 gallons in it. And so we're getting ready to load this tire on this side. Bring you in a little closer. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not because the lighting's so bad, but I built this manifold. It's got a gauge on it. This is the hose coming from that sprayer going in. We got a couple valves we can shut things off. We got our adapter to go on there. And my theory is that we can watch this gauge and we can see how much pressure we're putting into this thing, and we can bleed air off by closing this and opening this, and bleed air off through this line over here, which goes back into the tank, the sprayer tank. So if it blows air in there, that's fine. If it blows a little windshield washer fluid back in there, that'll be fine too. So we got to get the valve stem out, and hopefully we won't lose the valve stem, and hopefully we won't knock this tire off the bead. Okay, so we got the manifold bolted up on there, and I think the first thing I'm gonna do is look at the gauge and see how much pressure we got in the tank. I'm gonna try to move the camera around so that you can see a little bit better. Let's see how this works. Okay, so we can, I think you can see this thing all right. But on the gauge right here, we're reading that we're at, I'm assuming that's 10, that's 20, so we're just under 10 pounds. If we open this valve, we should bleed off some of that air. Yep, we are, and it's blowing back into the tank over here. Let me show some more hose in there so that we don't lose anything, but okay, so that works. I'm gonna cut the sprayer on, let it pump up pressure, and then we're gonna open this valve and see if we can dump a little bit in there. So he pumped up pressure. We're gonna go ahead and open this valve. We got a little bit of a leak. I don't know where we're leaking, somewhere up here. Well, she's pumping on up. We got 30 pounds, looks like, going in there. She's definitely leaking though. Get a bucket and catch that. Let's shut this off. Okay, and then while she's leaking, I'll see if I can get a wrench and tighten that thing up a little bit. I think it's just leaking right here. Let's see. Yeah, that fixed the leak. Sweet. So we're pumping in at 31 pounds is how much we're pumping in that thing. Let's shut this off again. So we got 10 pounds in there. We're gonna go ahead and open this up and see what comes out. So we got a little bit of, washer fluid come out, and now we've got air coming out. I'm gonna move the camera over there and hand hold it. Bear with me. So we're blowing air back into that tank, letting air out of the tire. Let's go back over now. All right. Let's shut that off. Now our back pressure from the tire is down to 0. Now I can really hear that fluid going in there. So the only place our leak was right here. When I put them channel locks on there and tightened it up, that took care of that leak. Thing's not leaking no more. So looking at the side of the tank, it looks like we've put in about 3 gallons so far. So I'm not sure how fast this is going to be, but it's pretty painless. I'm going to shut this off and see how much pressure I got in there. So I'm still got 0 back pressure coming out of that tire, and I know I can pump it up to at least 10 pounds. And of course, while this is pumping fluid in the tire, I can go ahead and be dumping, you know, a few more gallons into that tank, because that tank only held 16 gallons filled to the top, and I think each one of these tires holds 30 gallons, I want to say, something like that. Definitely he's definitely putting it in there, because the level is almost down to 10 gallon mark. I'm going to go ahead and dump some more in here. So we got 21 gallons that we've put into this tank so far, and the tank is reading that it's just above 10 gallons in the tank still. So we've probably pumped about 10 gallons in there, and however long, I don't know, I have to look at the video and see how many minutes that went by that we put 10 gallons in. So we're going to see how many minutes it takes to put 10 gallons in. We've pumped every bit of 10 gallons in there. And of course we stopped too. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, see what kind of back pressure we got. So we're under 10 pounds of back pressure. We open this valve up right here, we should be able to clear out some of that air. So we're getting a lot of air back out of there now. I can still hear the air going through there. Go ahead and shut this off now. Open this back up. And we can see we're pumping in 24 pounds. So 24 pounds is what it pumps in when there's no back pressure, or limited back pressure. I guess I better dump a few more gallons in that tank. It's going pretty fast. Let's see what we got. Going up at almost 30 again, so we can go ahead and cut this off and then open this up. And when we start getting just fluid out of this side over here and no air, we know we're up to there. So she's definitely throwing the she's definitely working. I swear, never a dull moment around this place. Alright, let's see what we got. How much back pressure we got? None. That jug fits right in that top, so you don't have to hold it. Just set it in there and it dumps in there for you. That works out pretty good. That's 20 over there, that's 10 right there, that's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So I've dumped 36 gallons into this tank, and I'm showing 6 gallons in the tank. So we are probably full, close to it. Let's see, we can see where it is. So it's right there. So yeah, she's pretty full. Pretty full. Let's shut that off. Let's pump a little bit in there. We got the needles straight up in the air. We're gonna pump some more in there. And then we're gonna let it out. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, so we're getting a lot of fluid coming back, steel coming back. So it's full. She's full right now. She is full. So we're going to drain off what's at the very top of the tire up here. Once it stops coming out, we know the tire is full. We've actually got too much in it right now. looking good. You can see it's starting to come out. Air is starting to come out a little bit now, but we're still getting a lot of fluid out of there too. So once the fluid stops coming out, then we'll know it's down to this level. So we're up to about 6 gallons in the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20, 30. That's 35. There's 6 gallons in the tank. So that's 29 gallons. And if I'm not mistaken, 29 gallons is what the website said when I went on there to look it up and see how much each one of these back tires would hold. Seemed like to me it was 29 gallons. So we ought to be getting close now to having pretty much all the pressure off, all the fluid out. Kind of sounds like it. So let's see what happens now when we lock this off. Okay, so we got the valve stem back in there now. We can add a little air to it and then hold a bucket over here and push this in and drain a little bit of that water out of there. Or not water, once you wash fluid. I think my manifold worked pretty daggone sporty. Did I over-engineer it? Did I overbuild it? Did I go way above and beyond? Probably so. But that's just how we roll around here sometimes. Sometimes we have a hard time just keeping things simple. But it was interesting to watch the gauge and see, you know, what the poundage difference was and all that kind of jazz. And, you know, I didn't know what that pump says. Maximum pressure is 70 pounds, but I didn't know, you know, how hard it was going to pump in there. It pumped in there pretty good, though. I'm pleased with this. So we're going to go over to the other side and do the other tire now. And I'll fill it up. Ain't no need you sitting there watching that, right? But it was fun video to make. And this was fun to do, and I've been putting this off for so long. These boxes have been sitting out here with this stuff in it for so long that the boxes have disintegrated. Crazy. All right, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.